Um, I've learned as I've developed is to always have an inquiring mind. So I like to ask a lot of questions, but I do think it helps me as a leader. It keeps me informed, and it also makes me aware of what I call typical pain points that need to be overcome. And I think as a leader, you're not just a person. Many people actually see you as never doing anything wrong. And I think the more you communicate and the more you are inquiring about the status of things, it actually helps in terms of building you as a leader. I think if you aren't inquiring and you don't ask, you essentially cut yourself off from a lot of knowledge that could otherwise come to you free of charge. I failed many times. I'm proud to say that. And I think people should not shy away from the fact that failure actually builds experience, it builds knowledge, and it also builds opportunities from which one can learn. I would say just in my work environment, a fair number of my failures have been sometimes making the wrong investment choices and how that's impacted us. And when you invest in new industries, specifically in the one that I'm in, without doubt you make failures, but you learn from them, and the next investment you make will ultimately be better. And I think that helps me as a leader, and it even helps me when I look at my personal life, as well as when I look at how to act as a leader or be a leader, and the mistakes I've made in the past, and how to actually align what mistakes I've made and how to use the knowledge I've gained from that mistake more effectively going forward. I think the biggest one I would say is cultural situations. I've had the great opportunity of working in many different markets of the world, from the Middle East to Brazil, and culturally we tend to make quite a few mistakes. And we expect that what works well in one country, for example, the US, will immediately apply itself to somewhere else. And often you make mistakes that way, and sometimes those are very hard lessons learned. But once you've learned it, you'd never make that again. And it's always important to reflect on those kind of, I would call them behavioral mistakes as well, in terms to better improve yourself as well as how you actually work in an environment. I think a big one, and as we've been working in a very government-focused environment at this point in time, there's been numerous situations where one is exposed to using a payment, or should I use the word bribe, as a way to expedite a solution. And we are working towards a deadline, and yes, it will be easy to get there the easy way. However, given the environment that we work in, that is completely frowned upon, and it is, personally for me, I could never do it. And I rather take the longer route, but take the safe, I wouldn't say the safe route, the correct route in terms of how to come to a solution. And I rather go through the correct channels to do it, even though it may take me longer and I may risk it, but I'm more concerned about taking the shortcut that is actually effectively illegal. We've had that, and I've decided and advised my team accordingly not to even accommodate such requests that come to us, but rather deal through the right methods and organizations in order to get the approvals that we require. I would say there have been quite a few of those, which I call pivotal moments. The first was a time when I was an analyst, and I had a boss who kept on telling me, he says, you definitely have a wanderlust streak in you, and it seems as if you're not as focused as you could be. And I knew it was indirectly affecting my work product. And when I got down to it, it was effectively that I wanted to see something else. I wanted to be exposed to something else. And I decided that something else was to get some additional international experience. I had become indirectly bored with what I was doing, and decided to go overseas to work for a little while. And that in itself, even though I was somewhat non-performing, it helped me in really deciding and realizing what I actually wanted to do, and how that decision has actually created a path that has resulted in who I am today. And I always look back at that, why am I doing something when I'm typically a good performer? Why am I doing something else? And try to use that often as a way to sense check where I am in my own personal timeline, and evaluate what can I do better, and what am I not doing well enough in order for me to change my direction. I look at where I am today. I'm sitting here talking to you. There are a bunch of 16 to 18-year-old kids, and I'm sure I shouldn't be calling them kids, but you know, to have that, to be back in that point in your life and knowing what you know now, you know, what could you do better? And I think one piece of advice that I'd love to give to anyone is always try. Don't, if you fail, don't give up. Try again, because you never know when the next new opportunity and a solution for you could actually come out. So persevere. I think that's basically it.